Andy Harris. I'm Chief Executive of Left Bank Pictures.
So just give us a quick rundown, if you will, of some of Left Bank's sort of most notable productions.
Well, I suppose the series we're best known for, I guess, is Wallander, which is the Ken Branagh series based on the Henning Mankell novels. We do the English versions of the novels, which we've had a lot of success with and have sold very well. We've just done the third series, so we've done 9 films altogether, and we'll do one more series after that with 12 full-length feature films based on Henning's short stories and films. We do a big show called Strike Back, which is for Sky in the UK, and Cinemax, who are an HBO owned channel in America. And that's 10 hours a year. We're on series 2 of that, with the current version of it. It's a high-octane action show, for those who haven't seen it. $30 million a year. Good, it's good. It's good fun to do. And Mad Dogs is another show that quite a few people associate with us with, which is a show set, well, the first 2 series anyway, set in the Balearic Islands, initially in Mallorca and then in Ibiza, for well-known actors playing 4 characters caught in circumstances slightly beyond their control.
And you mentioned Wallander there, and obviously there's a big trend at the moment for Scandinavian drama. So would it be fair to say that you were pioneers in going over to Scandinavia and remaking one of their hit shows?
Well, I think we were pioneering. We didn't actually remake the shows, in fact. It's a common misunderstanding. Our option was to do the books, English versions of the books. I've never seen the Swedish versions, actually. I didn't want to see them. And at the time we started working on this, the Swedes had only just produced one. They were just producing the first series, so I've never seen it. So our series and their series are substantially different sort of experiences. So theirs are much longer runs and have developed the novels in a different way. Ours are specific to the books. But I think Scandinavia, it's an amazing, isn't it, sort of explosion of novels and crime and really good quality television. So both great raw material coming out of Scandinavia, great television, original television coming out of Scandinavia. I think it's inspired people like us to go to Scandinavia, make great television and bring it back again. It's a great landscape, Scandinavia, a very interesting landscape, I think. It's a very mature culture up there.
What is it about the books and their original TV series that you think have separated themselves from other crime shows like in the US perhaps or in the UK?
I think it is the combination of culture and crime in a sense. So in many senses they're very decent, interesting, enjoyable crime novels, but the setting is so much richer than most crime novels. He genuinely weaves the politics and the culture and sense of Sweden right into the very fabric of the stories. So you get a much more full read in a sense. When you read the novels, you get it's a proper immersion into Swedish culture. You learn a lot about the Swedish the psychology of a Swede in a sense, which I think is really interesting. So it's a great way of getting a lot more out of just entertainment.
Another show, Strike Back's obviously filmed in South Africa, and can you tell us a bit about the show and how it came about, and then how Cinemax came on board?
Yeah, well, I'd long wanted to make an action series, to be truthful. I think action series are really fun to do. They're interesting. They're not often done in the UK. Haven't really been done. There hasn't been a proper action series in the UK for quite a long time. And I'm always interested in trying to kind of do things that are not on TV, rather than kind of do another version of what is. I think you always got to go around the corner and see what's not on. And so a good action show that had international sales potential was a real challenge. So it was based obviously on a book by Chris Ryan, who's a great source material for authenticity and stuff. People have a general fascination with the special forces. Ours are, Chris Ryan created Section 20. It's a fabricated special forces division, but it's perfect really for television. And his novels were the basis of our stories. But we also fuse them with reality. So lots and lots of things that are really going on in the world are filtered into the stories, and so it's got a bedrock of reality to it. And we keep a really close eye on the authenticity of the soldiering. So we have special forces guys on the shoot all the time, making sure that everything is right and the people holding their guns correctly and they're going into battle correctly and everything is done properly. They have to train very hard actually for it.
Okay, and obviously that's on Sky, but
It's on Sky, yeah. So it started on Sky, and then HBO joined forces with us in the production, and now it's made it simultaneously transmit in the UK and the US on Cinemax at the same time, Sky and Cinemax, and which is really challenging, really great actually. So we start production every year in early January. We finish the shooting in July. It goes on air in mid-August. It's great working for two broadcasters. It's challenging. It's interesting, actually.
what are some of those challenges?
Well, the challenges are always to keep the balance between basically, really, the construct of the show is you've got two guys at the heart of the show. One's a Brit and one's an American, and each broadcaster obviously, wants you to get as much firepower and as much impact for their character, if you like. And our job is to kind of make sure the stories work and make sure that the characters are balanced and they both get their fair share of action in the bedroom, on the battlefield, whatever it is, drama. And it's good. It's been a good experience. It's tough in the sense that locations are can be difficult. But on the whole, South Africa is a wonderful place to shoot. It has a tax break, of course, that contributes to putting more money on screen.
And there seems to be a trend, particularly in Europe, for co-productions between nations, and obviously you're working across the Atlantic. How do you see the trend for international co-production sort of panning out?
Well, as with everything, the money's being squeezed everywhere on television. Drama's no exception. One way forward is to do more international co-productions. I enjoy them and like them, so it's a good challenge for me. You don't want all drama to go that way, but I think it makes a lot of sense if you can combine broadcasters with the same vision. I mean, that's the trick, really, in a sense. So what you want is a decent budget, and you want to make it decent properly. It's quite interesting to mix up the casting anyway these days. English language is spoken much more widely now. So you're able to deliver a series with a range of actors from different countries that's much more accessible than it was 20 years ago. A good co-production delivers the money, delivers the show, delivers what you need to create a show like this.
Where do you see drama going over the next 12 months? What's next for the industry?
Well, it's always difficult to predict the future of drama. I mean, people like to respond to different things, and different shows hit at different times, and who knows why, a series about wet nurses and from the 50s is suddenly very popular and something else isn't. I mean, you never know what the tastes are, so all you can do is kind of battle down the line and try and produce stuff which you think people will be interested in. I think the desire for long-form content seems as great as ever at the moment. Whether people watch it on their iPad or whether they watch it on the TV, I think is something that is changing for sure. I think the way people watch drama is changing. What the implications are in the long term isn't easy to see. I think television is going to face some difficult and challenging times in the next few years. Conventional television, if you like, conventional broadcasting, and the way we finance our shows, we may be very challenged. But one door closes and another opens. Is the way the business tends to work. It always has done. So I guess we just have to look at it as an opportunity. There are huge numbers of new potential broadcasters these days, from Netflix to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Got to be positive and look and be cheerful.
And so what's next for Left Bank?
What's left for them? Well, we've got some great new series coming down the line. Which we're working on. We're in the process of trying to sell a couple of really exciting new things, I think, which are different. I'm very, very keen to try and do some different, something a bit different. But you've got to take risks, I think. Broadcasters are a little reluctant to take risks, But you can see why. They don't want to, money is tight, they don't want to waste it, they want to be sure. Everybody wants to be, everyone wants a sort of guarantee it's going to work. Well, there are no guarantees. And the shows that become big hits tend to be the ones that are the least likely in many senses. It's often the way that they just sort of come out of the blue and you, whoa, didn't see that coming. And you've got to keep trying to find those shows and trying to get people to believe in them.